Alrighty, good evening, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster coming back here once again. We're going to give you guys a live stream going over the potential of seeing some thunderstorms as we get towards next week, and to go over a couple of things here, and then I'm going to answer some questions you guys may have as well here. So, first and foremost, we're going to talk to you guys about what's going on today here. I know the last 2 days have been just kind of winter, right? It's been temperatures in the 50s. We had overnight lows, and I think up there in Fayetteville, we had temperatures in the upper teens and low 20s up there. Across the natural side, we saw good frost and freeze across the area here. We got a lot of folks sending us photos and stuff like that, so I do appreciate that, by the way. But we're definitely warmed up from there. So we've got temperatures now in the upper 60s and low 70s here, so we're going from one extreme to the other, and it's only going to get warmer from here. And you can see already back out here in Texas, you've got temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s out here. We can zoom this out and show you guys kind of a nationwide view of what's going on here. Okay, so you've got 80s all the way from Texas, Oklahoma, and into Kansas over here. You've got temperatures over here on the eastern side with the trough still in place. We got temperatures in the 40s and 50s here. So this trough is going to kick out of the area, and you're going to have ridging kind of sit back over the place as we get towards late this week into the weekend and the early part of your next week here. So I do need to talk to you guys about something before we get into the thunderstorm activity as we get towards next week, and this is the ongoing fire danger. Okay, I know it's something that you guys don't want to hear and stuff like that, which is perfectly understandable, but we do have burn bans, we do have wildfire danger we want to tell you guys about. A couple little counties here. We've got Sebastian, Franklin, Johnson up there in Boone, Baxter, Izard County, Poinsettia County, Phillips, and Garland County. A couple of those counties have been kind of released from these burn bans here. It's because of the fact that we had rainfall last Saturday and Sunday with that severe threat that we had, that we were live for almost 4 hours for. So a couple areas have been kind of let go of the burn ban for now, but we'll probably end up having those burn bans coming back into place as we get towards the late weekend and into the early part of next week. Thank you, Lee, for that. The server, for some reason, didn't pick that up. But Phillips is now back under that burn ban here. So I do fully expect probably the majority of the ones that are not under the burn ban right now to get back into the burn ban by the time we get towards next week here. And along with the burn ban threat, we do have a wildfire danger. Now, it's not as, and I put this in quotations, it's not as bad as it was a couple days ago. Remember, before Saturday, we had the extreme wildfire danger across the entire state. The rainfall we got with the last severe event we had has dropped us from extreme to high. South Arkansas, where you didn't see any rainfall at all, you're still hanging on to the extreme down there. And I do believe over the next couple of days, as you know, the drought continues, the extreme risk will come back into Arkansas, across much of Arkansas, by the time we get towards the weekend and into next weekend, before we get our next decent shot of rainfall across the area here. Okay, so I'm going to get to your questions a little bit. I see all the questions coming in. Michael, Lee, I see yours, stuff like that. It's got back into the 60s. We have our AC on here in the weather center, just how warm it got today. Temperatures rebounded quick out of the 30s overnight back into the 70s as we got towards today here. Okay, so we're going to switch this back over, and I'm going to show you guys what we got coming up here. Okay, so this is going to be our storm system coming up as we get towards the early part of next week. Now, I want to stress to you guys about the storm system here, okay? I'm going to zoom this out and show you guys what I mean. Alright, so this is the storm system as we get towards next week here. Let me see if I can get this working for you guys here, okay? So we're going to go over to the 24th. Let's go to right at 24 time frame here, okay? So I'm going to take this off so you guys can see the timing here, okay? So give me 1 second to switch this over. And there we go. Okay, so there it is by the 24th here. We've got a storm system that's going to be impacting our area as we get towards the early part of next week here. So this is going to get going. Let me see if I can zoom this out even further here. There's your storm system right in here. Now, you're going to notice something over the next couple of runs here. So this is 10 o'clock, late Monday into Tuesday here. That storm system is going to get going out to our west. And then we're going to take this out all the way. Let's take this out all the way to about, let's see here, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. Now, the reason why we're kind of monitoring that Tuesday time frame here, you're going to see this closely. There it is right in here. Okay, this is our storm system that we're going to watch. We're going to have a lot of, a lot of wind energy to work with, limited instability. So we will have to watch out for some isolated severe weather as we get towards your Tuesday time frame. Before anyone kind of asks questions, specifics on this, it's still way too early to talk about, but something to monitor very closely. Let's go over to your 500 millibar winds real quick, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here, Okay, so right in here, I'm going to see if I can get this going. Right in here, guys, this is where we're going to be watching for that severe threat. Okay, so that area flow pressure is going to kind of center right there. North Texas, southern Oklahoma, western Arkansas. You can see that area of blue. That's where your strongest winds aloft are going to be over there in western Arkansas and the eastern Texas. And that's going to draw moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico, which means you will have the shot of seeing some rainfall, some thunderstorms. And we will watch carefully for an isolated severe threat here. The one thing that kind of stands out in terms of this severe weather threat as we get towards that Tuesday time frame is the potential of damaging winds and that isolated tornado potential. Also, one more thing, Sunday into Monday, as this storm system is kind of getting organized to our west, it will be windy. We're talking wind gusts up to 45 to 50 miles per hour. We will have more than likely wind advisories out for that Sunday, Monday time frame here, so kind of watch that close. But you're going to be dealing with that as we get towards Sunday, Monday. But that Tuesday time frame is where we're going to have to watch closely here, because you can see that area flow pressure right there in Oklahoma. Let me see if I can zoom this down a little bit further here so you guys can get a little bit of a perspective of what I mean here. Okay, so there's the strongest winds right there coming into western Arkansas here. Now keep in mind, this is a loft winds. These are upper level winds. It's not something that you're going to see down at the surface, but this is going to help kind of produce the rainfall potential. Let's go over to our FUTURECAST radar so you guys can see what I mean here. Okay, so there it is right here, and there it is. So shower thunderstorm activity starts getting going by the time we get towards this point here. We're going to take this out all the way to 10 o'clock that morning here. You can see where your low pressure is across Oklahoma and northern Texas. A line of showers and thunderstorms here. The one thing, like I said before, the one thing that stands out to me right now with such strong energy in place, we start getting even a little bit of instability, we're going to have some trouble here. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. This is simulated radar, not something that's going to be 100% right out of the gate. It's going to happen, but kind of watch this closely as we get towards this time frame here. That you can see by the time we get towards 1 o'clock, that area of showers and thunderstorms kind of getting going from northwestern Arkansas to central down into southern Arkansas here. So kind of a band of showers and thunderstorms moving through here. And this is as a result of that significant system getting going out to our west here. And we can put an area of low pressure here. So the area of low pressure is going to be centered right in here, and you're going to see that where it starts drawing up that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and you start seeing those showers, thunderstorms get going across the area here. Okay, so if y'all have any questions on this, let me know. But right now, specifics in terms of how bad the severe weather threat will be, what are we going to be looking at, etc., it's still a little bit too early to kind of pinpoint at this point, but we'll have more information on that, especially this weekend. So if we start seeing severe weather start coming together as we get towards Tuesday, we'll have more live streams and stuff like that coming up as we get towards your Saturday and Sunday time frame. But we're kind of giving you guys a early look on what to expect as we get towards that Tuesday time frame here. And yes, we are looking at rainfall. Rebecca, I just saw your comment as we get towards that Tuesday time frame here. Okay, so it's going to be early week and into, I would say, that Monday, Tuesday time frame will be the best shot of seeing that rainfall potential across the area. Is this going to break the drought? No. Is this going to break the burn bans that we got in place right now? That's going to be a no. Is it going to break the ongoing wildfire danger? That's going to be a no across the area because of the fact how fast this storm system is going to be moving through the area here. Now, the one thing that I would watch closely, and I'm going to go over to our instability real fast here. I know it's going to be kind of a dull live stream, not expecting a lot of people, but that's perfectly fine. We'll have more information on this as we get towards the weekend. But let me see here. Let's go into our instability levels here. Now, the one thing that stands out with this, and you're going to see this, you're going to like, oh man, there's not a lot of instability. You know, why are we talking about something, you know, the severe threat for Tuesday if there's not a lot of instability in place? Well, the biggest thing with this particular setup, you have so much wind energy with this setup. If you have even the slightest bit of instability, and keep in mind, this is a global model, it's not going to be 100% on the instability, but if you give me about 500 to 1,000, that's where you're going to have trouble across the area because you have so much wind energy with this system here. So we're talking that Monday, Tuesday time frame. Rainfall amounts right now, too early. Too early to talk rainfall amounts right at this point here because of the fact that we just got a good handle on the system. What's it going to do? How slow is it going to come in and stuff like that? But I know a lot of people right now are kind of wondering when we're going to get the bonfire weather going, or we're going to be able to burn and stuff like that. That's going to be a no right now, guys. Okay, we're going to need a foot of rain to get out of the current drought that we have right now here. So exact rainfall amounts for specific city and location areas, It's not going to happen at this moment here because of the fact that we're kind of analyzing the system right now, trying to see what's going to be going across the area here. But we're going to monitor the situation closely here. But the instability levels right now, I know it doesn't stand out to you at this point. Let's go over to this real fast. And this is the most unstable cape here. Now, this is what I mean at this point. You notice how there's like a significant jump with the most unstable cape versus the surface base because of the fact that you have all that instability aloft. So what may happen is, especially on Tuesday, this particular setup would have happened. What happened is you have an area of low pressure develop out west. It'll swing east. They'll go negative over the state. That's another concerning fact. They'll go negative right over the state, and you have all that instability pulling up off from the Gulf of Mexico, and you'll have that isolated severe threat as we get towards that Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening time frame. Right now, as I said before, we are at Thursday, which means we have tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're at day 4 right now. We're at day 4. So obviously things are going to change. A lot of things are going to come up like last second. So it's very important that you guys stay with us over the next couple of days, and we'll have a better idea of what to expect across the area. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions here. I know it's not going to be a super long live stream. Hey everyone, just got here. What's going on? Anything coming up for Batson County and Northwestern Arkansas? We're just talking about Tuesday and talking about the rainfall potential as we get towards the early part of next week here. And I'm going to see if I can back this up and show you guys the FUTURECAST radar here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about here across the area. So we're going to take this out all the way to that time frame here. And as I said before, let's zoom this out and show you guys what I mean here. So this is the area of low pressure right in here, and it's clear as day on radar where it is. What happens with this low? Does it go further north? The one thing I would say, for this to be a true severe weather threat across the area, this area of low pressure right here will have to be, I would say, in northern Oklahoma. Let's get it right here, because if it gets right here, it'll be able to fully tap into the Gulf of Mexico even more, and it'll bring that moisture further to the north, and that's where you'll have the severe threat. The number one thing that's concerning me with this severe threat is the amount of upper level support we have in place. That's the number one thing that's concerning me right now. That's why I'm kind of giving you guys live stream and stuff like that, giving you guys kind of a heads up, even if no one's really in this live stream right now. It's because of the fact that we're at day 4, and things are going to change rapidly. The biggest thing is we're dealing with a powerhouse system coming up as we get towards Tuesday. Let's go back over to our 500 millibar energy real quickly here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's take this out, all right, to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, and you're going to see this. There's your system right there. And you see how it goes negative over Arkansas. That is what's concerning me right now. At the moment, the instability looks very limited. If we can uptick that instability, and you don't even need a lot, just 500 to 1,000, you'll get severe weather, and it could potentially be some ugly weather coming up as we get towards early next week here. So just kind of watch that close. We'll keep you guys updated on that here. But if you guys have any questions, let me know at this point. Let me see here. I think I saw it 1. Okay, so what are the chances of severe weather here? And Shane, I was just going over that. Right now, at this particular moment, you have to watch and see what happens with this system. This system is very, very concerned. Let's go over to this real quick, and I'll show you guys a better example of what I mean here, okay? So this is a 500 millibar energy. Basically, what we mean by that is what we look at in terms of where the storm systems are going to go. Basically, what you're looking at here, if we were in, let's say, January, February, you'll be looking at a winter weather threat coming up on Tuesday. We don't have that. We're not in winter yet. We're still in fall. So this is what we call a bowling ball low coming out of the southwest, going negative over Arkansas. This is where you have to watch for that severe weather threat. Right now, as before, we're at day 4. Specifics, what's going to happen, timing, all that information that you guys are trying to know at this moment is very, very limited right now because you're at day 4. The reason why I'm breaking in right now is to give you kind of a heads up. Say, hey, watch Tuesday, have an idea ready to go. Over the weekend, if this starts trending over the weekend, we will definitely have more information on this on the page, and we'll have live streams and stuff like that. But right now, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a little bit of an early view on what we're looking at as we get towards next week. Because I know a lot of people are looking for rainfall. This is our next shot of rainfall across the area. Unfortunately, if we get instability kind of getting going across the area, that's where you could be running into some problems here. Okay, so can we have summer back? That is going to be a no. That is going to be a no. No. We don't need the 90s, 100s back. We need it to cool off. We need to go into winter at this point because of the fact that we keep the summer temperatures around. That's why we're having so much severe weather. It's because we're keeping the summer temperatures around right now. We need to go into winter so we can kind of mitigate this severe potential. We start getting some actual rain without having to talk about a severe threat every single time. So let me see here. Elijah, great question here. So do you think there will be a slight risk? Elijah, the biggest thing that concerns me with this particular setup is the tornado threat. That's the biggest thing that concerns me. Right now, you don't have the instability in place per guidance. If you had, I would say 1,000 instability with this, okay? If you had 1,000 instability with this particular setup, I guarantee you'll have tornado soundings if you pull it up on models. But right now, you don't. So that is our saving grace. Yes, this will produce heavy rainfall across the area, which is great news because we obviously need it. But with this going negative, and I can take this out even further. Let's go over to 4 o'clock. I'll show you guys what I mean here. Let's take this out to 4 o'clock, okay? So this is right around 4 o'clock. You can see this thing goes really negative over Arkansas. You do not want to see this, especially this time of year, because if you get even the slightest instability, you'll have problems. I've seen setups like this before. We have had setups like this before happen in the past where we had no instability and it happened. We had a lot of rainfall, which was great. And then we've had setups in the past where we did have the instability in place and it ends up being a pretty big event. This has the potential of being a big event if the instability is realized here. So kind of keep that in mind across the area here, but something that we'll monitor very closely here. But that tornado threat is the number one thing that stands out to me right now, along with the damaging wind threat. This is going to be something that you do not want any instability for. You do not want any instability with this setup. This setup is practically guaranteed that you'll see some kind of severe weather across the area if you have the instability support. If you don't have any instability, nothing to worry about. It'll just be a heavy rainfall threat. But if you start getting instability coming into the state, watch out. I'm just going to put that right there. I would watch out very close at that point. So Pope County, let me see here. So you guys kind of wondering over there, kind of wondering what's going on. Let's get towards next week, I believe. The rainfall threat, we're watching Monday and Tuesday close. Sunday, I would not, and right now I wouldn't recommend any burning, but Sunday I would definitely not recommend it, and we'll go ahead and show you guys that graphically real quick. So I'm going to take this out. I don't know why it's lagging a little bit. See, there it is. There's the mouse. Alright, so let's take this out to Sunday afternoon here, and I'll show you guys the wind gust potential here, okay? So let me back this up. There it is. Alright, so let's back this up all the way. So 25th Tuesday, it's 24th, that's 23rd. Let's go over to that afternoon hours here. And this is the reason why I'm telling you guys on Sunday here. Okay, so Sunday, look out west. Your storm system's starting to develop. Over there in Southern California, over there in western Arizona. Your winds are going to pick up crazy on Sunday. We're talking some areas could see 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. Higher elevations could top 50. It's going to be a very breezy day on Sunday. So keep that in mind across the area here. So don't burn right now. Definitely do not burn on Sunday, because any fires that get going on Sunday, it's just going to go. It's going to be a very ugly situation here. So keep that in mind when our system starts getting going out here on Sunday here. And I mean, this is a setup, like I said before, you do not want instability for. And I want to keep an eye on that right now. At the particular moment, we're good. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, at the moment, we're fine. All right, let's take a look at the 25th time frame here. Alright, so let's take this out to, let's say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so this is the instability levels. Notice, you don't have much at all. You don't have much at all. Which would mean this would be a rain and thunderstorm event. Not much to worry about. Now, one thing I want to stress to you guys, these are global models. Global models do not handle instability well. At all. It does not handle it at all. So, keep that in mind here. If you start seeing instability come back in Arkansas, and we'll watch it closely over the weekend. If you start seeing me talk about instability across the state, you will need to watch that Tuesday time frame here. It could be a difference maker between just seeing rain and thunderstorms and us being live for the majority of the day here. Okay, so it sounds like the severe threat will either be a boom or a bust. Yes, I agree, and that really depends on the instability. The wind shear, off the charts. You'll have the wind shear no matter what happens with this particular event. You'll have the directional shear. You'll have everything in place. So basically, everything's setting up for severe weather. You'll have a check mark except for the instability. Right now, you give me 500 of that, we'll be talking severe weather as we get towards Tuesday. But right now, with it being very limited, not much at all, it'll be a rain and thunderstorm threat across the board. We'll watch it closely, but right now with the instability being very low and very limited, I wouldn't expect too much out of this setup. But right now, with the upper level support that we'll have, it's just like setting a match right now. It's just like going outside and setting a match. You know how we've been talking about wildfire danger? You go outside, you set a light right now. This is what we're setting up for Tuesday. You have this set up in place. You spark that fire, which will be the instability. And we'll be talking a bigger situation coming up as we get towards Tuesday here. So, South Arkansas definitely needs the rainfall across the area here. So, Morgan, what will happen with the conference championships Tuesday evening? Right now, I would count for thunderstorms. I wouldn't go out and say that it's going to be, a severe weather threat, stuff like that. I know you guys saw the upper level energy, and it looks absolutely terrifying on paper. But when you start looking at what we call the mesoscale details, which is your instability, how's everything going to set up, and everything like that, you see this. You see not much with instability. So which would mean a heavy rainfall threat, thunderstorm activity. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, I would watch that close. I don't know if it's going to be a complete washout. Let's take a look at the FUTURECAST radar for just a bit, okay? So I don't know if it's going to be a complete washout in terms of the fact. Let's go over to 7 p.m. Okay, so Morgan, if you do me a favor, let me know the location of that as well. But let's back this up all the way to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, first and foremost, the timing of this. Another thing that will help your severe weather threat if it were to verify. Coming in the afternoon. This would be a worst case scenario for Arkansas if you had the instability in place. And that still is a big question at this point, because you have a system going negative, you have it coming in during the peak daytime heating hours, and you have all that moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. The biggest thing right now is the instability. If it remains super low to none, you've got nothing to worry about except for some loud thunderstorms. You start talking instability coming back into place, we'll let you know about that. Well, it'll be a pretty big situation across the board. But Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, I'd watch this situation close. Right now, Morgan, just rain and thunderstorms at this point. Just kind of watch that close right now. Over the weekend, we'll have more information. We'll let you guys know across the area here, okay? So, several locations. 5A South is in Lakeville High School on 270 on a golf course. Oh, man, yeah, Morgan, I would definitely kind of watch the weather closely as we get towards that Tuesday afternoon time frame here. Sarah, I do agree. We definitely need it across the area here. And that's the one thing we were concerned about when we were talking about our winter outlook. Severe weather is going to happen, but we need the rainfall. We need the rainfall across the area because of the fact that some areas across Arkansas right now, especially in West Arkansas, needs a foot of rain to get out of the drought. That's just the big story we're at right this moment here. So if y'all have any more questions, let me know. I know there's not a lot of people in this live stream. It's perfectly fine. We'll have more information about that over the weekend here. Okay, so let me see here. Cheryl, no problem at all. Like I said before, if I'm live, I try to get to as many comments and questions as I can. I know severe weather right now, as much as severe weather sounds bad on paper, we need it because it brings rainfall. And we need any kind of rainfall we'll get across the area. And I also have some news with you guys coming up in the winter. We get snow. We're still in a drought. It's not going to help us because you need a foot of snow to even get 1 inch of water, which would be equivalent to 1 inch of rainfall. So we need to get the rainfall now before we start talking winter weather, because winter weather is not going to help us at all. And then by the time we end winter, we'll go into spring with a drought, and we'll talk more about that later down the road, but it doesn't end well. We'll just put it that way. So let me see here. Let me go over any more comments. We have 4. Okay, geez, my birthday, so it better be nice. We'll wait and see. Guidance has been kind of all over the place in terms of the overall severe weather potential. Are we seeing this going to happen? Model guidance has been kind of back and forth between Monday and Tuesday right now. Regardless, I know everybody wants the nice weather. We need the rainfall, guys. I'm tired of nice weather, man. We need the rain and thunderstorms across the area because we need to get out of this drought. If we want to have bonfire weather, we want to have, go out and actually do stuff outside without having to worry about sparking a wildfire or anything like that. So as much as I love the nice weather and quiet weather, we need the rainfall and bad across the area here, okay? So let me see here. So great comment. Yeah, we need the rainfall, but not sure severe fall normally brings a fair share of wild weather. That's the one thing. This time of the year, it's very hard to get just rainfall out of anything. And I go back to the spring because I had a comment about this. One of my followers asked this back in the spring. is that every time we get rainfall, we have to talk about severe weather. I hate talking about severe weather. I hate doing it every time we have rainfall. The biggest thing is, right now, this time of the year, it's pretty much avoidable, not to see severe weather because you have a clash of air masses. Right now, in order to break the drought, we need setups like this that's going to bring the heavy rainfall potential because it breaks the drought. I do agree, we don't need severe, we don't need a destruction or anything like that, and I don't like talking about severe weather, but at the moment, if it's going to bring rainfall, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and be done with it. That's the biggest thing. We need to get out of this drought right now here, and I think that's going to be the only way we do it. And down the road from here, I believe as we get towards late next week and into the following weekend, we may have another system to talk about in terms of more severe weather. I know, but it's going to be a very, very active pattern coming our way as we get towards starting early next week and then getting towards the late part of the week and into the weekend here. So, Crystal, you didn't miss much. We're just talking about Monday and Tuesday next week. Just kind of giving you guys kind of like a brief live stream, kind of going over everything right now, everything what's going on, keeping you guys updated on that here. But you didn't miss too much here. We're just talking about Tuesday's potential severe weather setup here. I think it's going to be, at the moment, I say rain and thunderstorms. I say rain and thunderstorms right now. So if you have any plans for Tuesday, I wouldn't just go out and cancel them or anything like that. I'm not saying it's going to be, a major amount of severe weather. The biggest thing is this. Let's go back to it. I'm going to show you guys this one last time. Okay? The biggest thing that concerns me out of this setup is this. Okay, let's go to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The biggest thing is this. This thing goes negative right over Arkansas. It goes negative right over the state. All right? We have even the slightest of instability. You will see me and Derek on live on Tuesday. I'll just put it that way. Because we'll be dealing with severe weather. And I can take this. Let's take this out a little bit. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so keep in mind, this is aloft. This is above our heads, not down at the surface. You're talking 100-mile-per-hour winds aloft. Okay, which means first and foremost, your storm motions are going to be stupid on Tuesday. You're talking, if you see severe weather, they're going to be 50, 60-mile-per-hour moving storms. You're not going to have a lot of time to react if something happens on Tuesday. But right now, with the limited instability, not much in the way of instability, not much to worry about, obviously. However, if we start seeing a trend, and the one thing I'm concerned about, we're going to get to the weekend, we're going to start seeing, I think the NAM, the HRR, the hybrid NAM, all the other short-range guidance is going to come in, and they're going to start putting a 500 to 1,000 instability over our heads with this setup. If it happens, you guys know, we'll be here. We'll have all the updates and stuff like that on the page across the board if that were to happen. But right now, I think rain and thunderstorms is the best call. You'll see it in the forecast here coming up in a little bit, and I think I am going to introduce the severe possible on Tuesday just to kind of mitigate between two differences right now here, because the setup overall, I mean, if you get this set up with instability, you'll be talking about a good amount of severe weather across the area here, but we'll just have to watch it very, very closely across the board. James, welcome into the live stream here. What do we have here? A big old system Monday and Tuesday next week. Rainfall producer, yes. Severe producer right now, wait and see. We'll wait and see. If you see me, I'll put it this way. If you see me live Saturday and Sunday talking about this, it's going to be severe weather. If you don't see me live, not much to be worried about. I'll just put it that way across the area. If it comes with a nice rain, I'll take it. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Right now in fall, with the clashing air masses, it's kind of hard to avoid the severe threats, but at the moment, if it produces rainfall, that's all we can get. And I know the rivers are really low. If you guys see the Mississippi River, it is bad, guys. I think it was a story. Actually, it's a quick story before I get off of here. There was a story over there, I think in northwestern Mississippi, along Mississippi River. Some people found some human remains washing up from the river because of how low the river is right now, which is kind of a scary thought. But yeah, that just tells you how low the Mississippi River is at this point and how desperately need the rainfall. And another thing on this, by the way, is the rainfall that we get. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the let's see if I can go over the precipitation totals real quickly here. I'll show you guys what I mean about not to expect too much. There it is. So let's take this out, and you're going to see, okay, this is right around Tuesday night, and you can see an inch, 2 inches over there in northwestern Arkansas. half an inch of rainfall across the area. This is not going to be a heavy rainfall producer too much. This is going to be a quick round of showers and storms. That's nothing that concerns me, by the way. It's just the fast motions of these storms. We get the slightest bit of instability, folks. And you're going to see me on live on Tuesday. I'll just put it that way at this point. So we'll watch it closely. Sarah, I saw your comment about the chair. The chair's fine, by the way. He's doing fine, by the way. It's just me in the live stream. I know it's kind of a short live stream at this point. Take a nap, have lots of snaps for the storm. I agree. The biggest thing right now is just we're watching for that instability at this point. If we see the instability start to tweak up, that's what's going to concern me. As a matter of fact, I want to see something real quick while I have everybody kind of still here. And if y'all have any questions, please let me know. It could be about anything. And then I'm going to hop off of here and get started on your forecast for tonight here. So we're going to switch this over. And there it is right here. Okay, so this is, let's take a look at the euro for just a moment here. And I'm going to look at the instability. Let's take a look at the instability for just a second here. Now, the European model could be a little different. The one you saw early was GFS, by the way. That was a global model. Let's take a look at the euro. Let's see what the euro does with this particular setup here. Okay, so not much in the way of instability across the board. Sunday gets out of the area here. Then on Monday, you can see it. And then you get to Tuesday. Okay, that's what's concerning me right here. Okay, you're talking 100, 200. And I know you're like, man, why am I overreaching with this instability? It's the setup you have. If you have a negatively tilt 100 knot jet coming over Arkansas, that is a recipe for severe weather every single time. It just depends on how much instability you have across the area. Euro right now has about 100 to 200. My concern is this: global models do not do well with instability at all. My concern is we get to the weekend, we start talking, the short range guidance starts producing 500,000 instability with the setup coming in. That's where you're going to have problems. That's where you're going to have problems across the board here. And you can see with the euro, let's take the euro out just a little bit, and you can see the shower thunderstorm activity. This is what I'm worried about with that negatively tilted trough. So Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, right now, I don't have enough confidence to make a severe potential map. I don't, because of the lack of instability. Friday and Saturday, we'll get more data in. We'll have a better idea on what to expect by that point, and we'll keep an eye on it across the area here. Okay, so Mary, thank you very much. Okay, I think that's it in terms of all the questions right now. If you guys have any more, let me know. If I've missed one, let me know as well. Let me see here. Michael, I saw yours. Phillips County is back under the burn ban, which I fully expected, by the way. Charlie, I got your question here. About half an inch rainfall to 2 inches. It's just almost similar in a way to what happened with the last event across the area here. But you can see with the surface-based instability, not much in the way. But the problem is this. Let's take a look at your. Let's do 850. Let's do 850, and you see this. I mean, look at this setup. This is what I'm concerned about right here. That is almost. This is low level, by the way. This is not mid level or anything like that. Low level is almost about 60 knots, which puts you almost at 70 miles per hour. Low level, which means storm oceans are going to move from southwest to northeast, probably about 55 to 60 miles per hour. So if we see a severe threat materialize on Tuesday, Tuesday's going to be one of those days that you don't want to log-gadding around, because those storms are going to be coming at you with a vengeance. They're going to be coming at you quick. So you want to watch it close. I'm not trying to scare everybody right now and stuff like that. But just watch it. Just watch it. Because right now, Tuesday's kind of raising a lot of red flags right now. You never, in Arkansas standards, you never want a negatively tilted system across the board. You never want it. Because if that happens, you get a little bit of instability. It's just like baking a cake. That's how you get severe weather across the year here. Okay, so I think that's it in terms of all the questions I have. I'm going to take a look at something else. I think it's the 500 millibar energy. And you can see, let's take a look at this one last time. That's what I mean. 500 millibar low. Hey, this was winter, by the way. This would be a snowstorm. This would be a pretty significant winter weather event across the area if this were to be the case. Okay, but watch this close, because your storm oceans are moving southwest northeast. Okay, and your winds at the surface are coming out the south. There's X's already. You get a little bit of instability. We'll be watching closely. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Okay, so I think that's it for all the questions at this point. Let me double check and make sure I got to everybody. Move this over. See if I double check I got to everybody at this point. Okay, so yeah, short range guys comes in next 60 to 84 hours, which is another 2 to 3 days. We'll put you at the weekend. Would hurt my feelings if it rained in Johnson County. We definitely need it across the area. Okay, so I think that's it in terms of all the questions, guys. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. So before I knew it was going to be a big live stream tonight, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a heads up as we get towards the Tuesday time frame here. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.